Hey guys, I have braces now. They kinda hurt, but they're rainbow. They're definitely rainbow, but they still hurt. Well, I'll tell you about Peanut, a little lamb. Hold on a second. Alright, I'm back. Didn't take me too long to do this, but I have some of Peanut's wool. That's hard to get because they don't sell it. But anyway, I'm gonna read this book. Peanut of Blind Faith Farm. Farmer Jim woke up on a beautiful summer's morning, eager to start his day. His farm had a flock of sheep with 8 new additions. Jim and his wife, Farmer Laura, enjoyed watching the newborn lambs frolic and chase each other all around the pasture. But there was one lamb that was not participating in the fun. She stayed close to her mother and showed no interest in playing with the other lambs. "Let's take this little lamb and her mother back to the barn," Jim said to his wife. Laura gathered the tiny lamb in her arms. By the time they arrived in the barn, Laura had decided the lamb should be called Peanut. Oh, excuse me, let me show you the pictures. There's one. There's two. There's two. Little Peanut bobbed her head in every direction and turned her ears toward the smallest of noises. It was as if she was trying to understand her new world just by listening. That's when Jim and Laura realized Peanut was blind. Has a little white halo on her head. It's very cute. So I'm naming a visitor. Maybe sometime this year, maybe sometime next year, I don't know. Jim called the veterinarian, who confirmed that the sweet little lamb was unable to see. "It's hard to imagine how she'll be able to survive," the vet said with a sad shake of his head. Jim and Laura looked at each other. Then they looked at Peanut. She had dark brown wool with a little curly hair halo of white on top of her head. "She's so beautiful. Maybe she just needs our help," Laura said. Jim nodded. "We have to try." Thankfully, Peanut had a wonderful mother named Sweetie Pie, who was doing a good job of taking care of her newborn lamb. Sweetie Pie cleaned her and fed her, which made little Peanut wag her tail just like a puppy. By the way, her full name is Peanut Pie. They're the Pie Girls. Congrats on the fun names. After eating her first meal, little Peanut looked very tired. The rest of her flock had returned to the barn, and all the other lambs had lain down next to their mothers. Peanut kept standing, but she looked so wobbly that Jim was afraid she might tip over. "Since Peanut can't see the other sheep, I wonder if she needs someone to teach her how to lie down," asked Laura. "Excuse me, I'm doing the wrong voices." So, Laura went inside Peanut's stall and taught her how to lie down. First she folded her front legs, then her back legs. It took a few tries, but soon Peanut was lying down just like the other sheep. Tired from standing for so many hours, Peanut nestled into the soft straw bed and fell fast asleep. After that, whenever she was tired, she was able to lie down on her own. Over the next few days, Peanut explored all the smells and sounds of the barn. Her ears were always twitching and listening. Jim hung a jumbo-sized jingle bell around Sweetie Pie's neck so Peanut would always know where her mother was and could run to her for safety and food. The little lamb grew and grew. Did I show you the last picture? In case I didn't, I'll show you. There finally came a day when Peanut was old enough to go out into the pasture again. She had a wonderful time eating the tasty grass and listening to the many wondrous sounds of the outside world. But Laura was worried. How is she going to find water when she is unable to see? We have water buckets along the fence. Yes, but how will she ever find them in this big pasture? They didn't have to worry for long. Peanut found the water by sense of smell and touch. She traveled alongside the fence line until splash! She ran into a bucket. She shook the water from her head and drank as much as she wanted. Then another worry arose. How would Peanut get along with the other sheep? Uh-oh. Sheep like to headbutt each other. It's their way of playing, talking, and showing who's boss. One day, a sheep named Stella decided to show she was boss by headbutting Peanut. The headbutts were so hard they knocked Peanut over every time. Did you see that? We have got to do something. Jim came up with the idea to divide the flock to separate Peanut and Stella. In the smaller flock, Peanut still received headbutts, but they were softer, friendly headbutts from more gentle sheep. I'm not showing you pictures. Winter came and there was no more grass. The flock would crowd around the hay feeders for their food. Some of the sheep chased Peanut away, but she was smart. She would stand back and listen. Somehow Peanut knew when there was more room at one of the feeders. Then she would sneak back in to grab her share. When spring arrived, there was plenty of new grass in the pasture. There was also shade trees in the pasture, plus a rock pile and even a few holes that must have seemed like mountains and canyons to a blind sheep, but they didn't seem to bother Peanut. She often climbed to the top of the rock pile and stood there, listening to all the sounds around her. There was an apple tree just outside the pasture. Like all other sheep, Peanut loved apples. With her sharp ears, she was able to hear when an apple hit the ground and quickly hurry over to gobble it down. One day, Laura plucked an apple from the tree. She called out to Peanut and waited for her to come. Peanut ate the delicious apple and was eager for more. After that, whenever Laura called to Peanut, her ears would perk up and she would always come running. Can't forget to show you the picture. The springtime also brought new lambs, the newest members of the flock, and played, chased, and bounced around the sweet green grass. Laura wanted Peanut to join the fun, so she called out to her, "Come on, Peanut, run!" Peanut's ears picked up the sound of all the lambs running, so she trotted towards the noise and joined in. Jim put an arm around his wife's shoulders. "Now isn't that a wonderful sight to see?" he said as Laura smiled. As the weeks passed, Peanut showed herself to be one of the smartest sheep in the flock. She couldn't see obstacles like fences, so she began to do something none of the other sheep did. There was long grass on the other side of the pasture fence, and she put her head through to eat it. Peanut could always be found by looking for a head poked through the fence. Being around the other sheep made Peanut more confident. Once, while eating near a crabby old sheep named Patches, Peanut gave Patches a gentle headbutt. Patches looked surprised, but she accepted it as a sign of respect. Almost done. As she grew older, Peanut kept learning and changing. When she turned 2 years old, her wool turned the color of vanilla ice cream, just like her mother's. As a 3-year-old, she listened carefully for the sound of a gate opening, realizing there might be an apple coming. By then, she was joining in playtime all the time and was often the one to begin it. Peanut showed the farmer and his wife that a blind sheep can do almost anything. In a short time, she became respected as a member of her flock, and the star of what is now called Blind Faith Farm. And then there's a billion facts about sheep and pictures. Look at all that writing. And I saw the author, and he gave me this wool, and now I'm going to squeeze it and show you it's very soft. Wish you were actually here so you could feel it, but you aren't. Unless you're one of my neighbors. It's a little messy, dirty, but it's very soft and a bit squishy. That'd be a good stress toy, I think. But anyway, I have braces and goodbye.